Think back to your test-taking days. Those essay questions were the toughest. Multiple choice were nice, true or false even better. And we've got one of those for Peter Fink today. He owns Certified Transmission and joins us every other Monday on the Morning Blend.
Morning.
Hi, Peter. We've got this thread that's weaving through the show. Peter works out at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and has for about 5 years.
Yeah,
so
I'll tell you what, I contributed to really some of the best shape that I've been in for a long, long time. You know, I'm fairly old anymore, okay, and stuff, you know, so I joined when I was 50. I'm 55 now, and, you know, I didn't lose a lot of weight because, but I didn't have a lot of weight to lose necessarily, but it's definitely, definitely. Otherwise, I couldn't do all of my other activities from the snowmobiles and dirt bikes and everything else.
Peter's out on some kind of adventure and then running a large business with several locations. And that's what brings you here today. We've got 3 questions.
Sure.
The true or false that I mentioned, that one's coming later. We'll start with Emily. She says, we are shopping for an Explorer and paying cash. We found a nice one fully loaded for under our budget. Carfax shows 2 accidents, a rear end accident and a severe damage accident, but not a salvage title. Do you think buying it would be too risky? Well,
first of all, salvage titles doesn't necessarily mean it's always bad. Okay, how it gets a salvage title is the insurance company ended up with the vehicle and it went to a salvage pool. Does not mean that it was always totaled. Okay, matter of fact, I own a used car lot, okay, and we see salvage titles, and I own a salvage yard, and so we go to these, and I see cars sometimes with $1,000, $1,500 worth of damage, and I can buy them, fix them, and sell them. Of course, they have a salvage title, but they're not totaled. Now, this one, of course, has a Carfax and says it was fairly severely damaged. You don't have to be scared of it, but you do need to get it to a proper shop, a body shop, have them check the work, okay? If it was done correctly, there's nothing wrong with the vehicle, okay? Now, I wouldn't pay a premium for it, obviously, because it does have the history, okay, and stuff. But if it's a decent deal and the body shop checks off that it's good, I wouldn't be scared of it. And, you know, truthfully, I have a problem with this whole salvage deal. It's really about disclosure, because if I get in an accident with my car and the insurance company don't take it away, it could have $10,000 worth of damage. The insurance company pays to put it back together, and then I sell it, say, a couple months later or a year later. It's really about disclosure. I really believe every accident that happens should be a record of the title. That way you all know when it was done and stuff. Of course, Carfax does a pretty good job, because if it's done by the VIN number and goes to a shop that reports, which a lot of shops do anymore, you can see the history of mechanical and also body repair. So it's getting a lot better.
I think it's so important to be informed,
Without
regardless.
a doubt, without a doubt.
Erin is up next. She says, my husband left the keys in the ignition of his Ford F-150 overnight and the battery died. We jumped it, but he called me from the road to tell me the truck wasn't running right. Turns out that jumping it kicked it into 3rd gear where the engine got stuck. He had to turn it off and restart the truck to unstick it. Are there any potential residual issues?
You know, jump-starting these newer, later model cars is very, very dangerous. If you do it on European cars, it will even usually blow a computer in the car, okay? I haven't heard of that yet on American cars like a Ford or GM or Chrysler, okay? But obviously, the best way to do it is you're really not supposed to jump start it. You're supposed to charge the battery back up or put a new battery in it, okay? Now, back to this one, okay? What probably happened is when the battery went down and it went dead, the computer's lost its settings, okay, and stuff, and so it has to relearn, okay, everything again, okay, how the engine operates, the transmission operates, and everything like this, okay? And there's probably going to be no damage, okay, here, since it will correct itself. It's
like
a self-learning.
Almost,
kind of, you know, except the computer usually works when you bring it up where the car or truck has to relearn, okay, and stuff, and it learns how we drive, okay? And literally, if you drive with a lead foot and then the other person drives and babies it, it will shift different and all that, and it tries to relearn and adapt to how you drive. Your driving habits.
I didn't realize the technology was that sophisticated.
Oh, it is. anything about 2010, most of the cars have what they call, they'll learn your driving habits, okay, and stuff. And so, you know, if I hop in the wife's car, she's got a lead foot, and I mean, you know, it drives,
Let's not
I
throw
go,
the
man,
wife
this
under
car
the
drives
bus.
horrible, you know, unless I drive it like her, you know, so, but, oh well.
We got a final question, and this is your true or false, so we'll end it on a softball, I hope. Beth writes, true or false, it's unsafe to use cruise control when the ground is wet. Of course, raining this morning,
Well,
so this is timely.
you know, I would probably have to go on the true side, but I'm going to say, you know, just because it's wet, okay, you got to be a little bit more alert, because the cruise control is going to try to keep it at the same speed. If the wheels break loose and loses traction, it just thinks it's slowing down or whatever, so it could apply the brakes or accelerate or whatever, okay, because the car's losing speed. So you got to be careful. I don't put it on, obviously, if it's raining. If it's done raining and the pavement's a little wet on the interstate and it's not in traffic, I'll put it on. But you got to be alert, okay? So probably, I would say it is safer to probably not have it on, okay? So
5 locations in our area for certified transmission. You can make appointments online at certifiedtransmission.com. Thank you, Peter.
Always fun,
Have a
Mary.
great Monday.
All right.
Did our conversation today make you think about an issue you're having with your own car? You can send in a question for Peter's next visit. Go to omahamorningblend.com and look for the yellow certified transmission button, or email talkback@omahamorningblend.com, or head to Facebook and leave questions on our page. Try to make it easy for you there. Odds are you've got a lot on your mind. I bet your air ducts aren't included. Our next guest will explain why they should be every 3 to 5 years, plus some of the factors that can change that time frame.